up at the monitor here. I'm going to go over your rights with you, and we're going to get this moving forward. So, as you all can see, this is the Spalding County State Court. My name is Josh Thacker. I'm your judge, and this is the bonded arraignment county. I want to start out by saying here in the Spalding County State Court, we believe that each and every one of you, as you interact with this court, deserve the respect and the dignity that you would wish for someone you care about. We'll extend that to each and every one of you as we interact with you all here today. All right, hey, please don't talk during court. Our goal is to return you to your lives promptly, and I can't do that if y'all are having sidebar conversations, and frankly, I won't have much patience for it. I have two people virtual today. For those of you that are virtual, go ahead and get a pen and a piece of paper to write down information when I call on your case. Wait for me to speak with you, and just so you know, you cannot unmute yourself until I call on you. All right, cell phones. So everybody's got pet peeves in life. Mine is cell phones ringing because it keeps me from doing what I want to do, which is get you all back to your lives as quick as I can. So everybody, right now, reach into those pockets and purses, wherever you've stashed that cell phone, and turn it off. I just did the same before I came out here. If it rings after this moment, it means you've completely ignored the instructions I just gave you. Then I have to have a contempt hearing. Neither of us want that, especially you. So just don't volunteer for that. Good. Lots and lots of movement. Thank you all. All right. This is the correct courtroom for you if you are arrested here in Spalding County for a misdemeanor. You received a letter in the mail telling you to come to court today. If what I'm saying does not sound correct, then simply step out into the hallway, show the bailiffs your paperwork, and they'll get you moving in the right direction. Today is what's called your arraignment. What that means is I'm going to go over your rights with you, and I'm going to tell you what your options are. And then you or your attorney is going to tell me what to do with your case. You may have a trial. There are two types of trials. There's a jury trial, well, that's where 6 jurors sit in that box over there to decide guilt or innocence on each of your charges. And then there's a bench trial, and that's where I make the guilt or innocence decision with no jury present. You may have a conference with the solicitor's office. That's this group up here to your left. They represent the state of Georgia. And then you may ask for an attorney, and I'll point you up to this group on the right. These are the public defender's office. All right, Miss Karen is sitting over here in the corner there. She is with our Veterans and Mental Health Court. So what does that mean to you all? Well, if you are a current member of our military or a military veteran, or you have a mental health diagnosis and you would like your case dismissed, then at the first break, make a beeline up, talk to her, and see if you are a candidate for our accountability court. That's what it's called. If you missed the chance to talk with Ms. Karen, you're representing yourself, simply ask for a conference with the solicitor's office. They can also help you determine if you are a candidate for our court. Lastly, if you have an attorney, simply talk to your attorneys about it. They're very familiar with the program, and they can answer any questions you may have. Your charges here in this courtroom are misdemeanors. The average misdemeanor carries a maximum punishment of 12 months to serve in the Spalding County Jail and or $1,000 fine. A few minor traffic charges like seatbelt have a lower maximum fine, and then a few high and aggravated misdemeanors have up to a $5,000 maximum fine. Now, each of you here have the right to a speedy and public jury trial. That's where 6 citizens of Spalding County decide guilt or innocence on your charges. Again, you can choose a bench trial. That's where I make the guilt or innocence decision with no jury present. Lastly, you can waive your right to a trial and close your case with a plea if that's what you want to do. I have no preference. You must knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently choose for yourself. You have the right to be presumed innocent. You have the right to force the state to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to cross-examine the state's witnesses, to subpoena your own witnesses in evidence to court. You have the right to testify or not testify, to not incriminate yourself, and if you remain silent, your silence cannot be held against you. All right, you have the right to have an attorney. You may hire your own if you so choose. However, if you cannot afford an attorney, then you may apply today here in the courtroom with the public defender's office over there. I'm so sorry. Second row, yellow shirt, hey, good morning. You haven't looked up, I've worked really hard on this very boring and informative slide. And in the yellow shirt there, second row, you're still not awake. Will you return? Yes, hi. I need you to at least pretend like you're looking up at the monitor and paying attention to what I'm saying with your eyes closed. You haven't looked at a single slide since I started. So you can argue with me about it and we can really get deep into this, or you could just look up like I'm asking you to do? Which would you prefer? Just look. Okay, look up then. Thank you. All right. If you do not take action ASAP with the Public Defender's Office, then you will very likely hear me say at your next trial calendar that you've waived the right to apply. In other words, if you would like to have an attorney, do something about that ASAP. Now, an attorney would help you understand our criminal justice system, explain what the charges are and what the defenses are to those charges, file motions on your behalf, engage in plea negotiations, subpoena witnesses and evidence for your defense, conduct a trial on your behalf and make objections, protect your record, appeal any conviction, and otherwise just work to protect you. Thank you, Piper. Good job. The air conditioners only really work out in the hallways, and so Piper's opening up the windows or opening the doors so that the air will come through, because I don't know about y'all, but I like the air conditioner more than the heat. All right, first offender and conditional discharge. These each allow you to enter a guilty plea without being convicted. You get one of each for your entire life. First offender is for everything except traffic-related charges, and then conditional discharge is for drug-related charges only. All right, nolo contendere and traffic charges. We call this a nolo plea for short. It's where you enter a guilty plea without admitting guilt. It is available on most basic traffic charges. You get one nolo every 5 years, and that is measured from the incident date to the incident date, the ticket date to the ticket date. A nolo will usually prevent points. It'll usually save your license. It won't help you much if you're under 21. Quick show of hands, anybody here under 21? Okay. All right, 1, 2, all right, 3. All right, I got 3 of y'all. All right, so if you're here today and you are not a U.S. citizen, then you need to know that any conviction will very likely have a negative impact on your immigration status. All right, family violence. There are several of you charged with family violence. You'll know that because it's in the title of your charge. If that is you and you are convicted of that family violence charge, you need to know that you will lose your Georgia weapons carry permit, and federal law will step in and say that you may never again possess a firearm or ammunition. All right, habeas corpus, weird old law, but it's my job to explain it to you. So here goes. If you're convicted of these charges, you may use your habeas rights by suing Spalding County civilly over in Superior Court to challenge your conviction. Like I said, weird old law. Here's what I need you to remember. For those of you with just traffic charges, you have 6 months from the date of conviction to use those rights before they expire. For everybody else in this courtroom, you have 12 months from the date of conviction to use those rights before they expire. That's what I need you to remember. All right. You make conference today with the solicitor's office. If you are representing yourself and you just want to meet with the solicitor's office, then you can simply announce conference when your name is called. You'll remain here in the courtroom until the solicitor's office calls your name. If you have an attorney, your attorney will not likely announce conference on your behalf. Just let them make the announcement for you. Now, the solicitor's office, again, that's this group up here. They represent the state of Georgia. They are not your attorney. If you reach an agreement, you can resolve your case today. If you don't reach an agreement, then no problem. You simply tell the solicitor's office or any of the court's bailiffs that you wish to have a trial. We'll happily have you sign the paperwork and move you in that direction. Now, if you do enter a plea and you do receive probation, you need to know that you'll be supervised by the Spalding County Sentence Enforcement Team. Now, there will be a one-time $25 intake fee per case. 100% of all fines can be worked off in this court with community service work at a rate of $10 per hour. There's a $50 per month supervision fee each month until your case is closed. And then there's a $50 supervision. This $50 supervision fee is mandatory, but it can be waived after a separate hearing before me. All right, for those of you that choose to move your case over to a trial calendar, all the trials will go on the same 2-week trial calendar. That's jury trials and bench trials. In week 1, you'll be assigned to come back for your calendar call, and that'll be week 1. We'll all skip a week in the middle, do some other court, and get ready for trial. Week 2 will be the jury trials and bench trials. They will begin at 9 a.m. sharp on the Monday of week 2. You will appear each and every day until your case is resolved. We will run 2 or 3 courtrooms in week 2, and we will reach your case for trial. All right, do you want to help your friends and family? Because bench warrants will be issued to arrest any defendants who failed to appear in court today. We are still a small enough community where everybody knows somebody who knows everybody. So if you recognize a name, and that you'd be surprised at how well this works, call them, tell them to get down here, and you will definitely save them a great deal of future trouble. I'd rather have them here than in jail. If you do that, you'll definitely help them out. All right, I'm about to call the calendar. When you hear your name called, stand up. If you're not able to stand up, wave your hand real high and just get my attention. I just need to know who I'm addressing out there. If you have an attorney, which several of you do, let them announce for you. That's what you brought your attorney here to do. If you do not have an attorney, then you're going to very loudly announce for yourself one of the following. So you'll stand up and you'll say real loud, jury trial, or bench trial, or conference, or attorney. And it doesn't say under 21, but those of you, I got you to identify yourself. Y'all tell me that when you hear your name called. Okay. Ready, Mr. Shepard?
Yes, sir.
Ready, Mr. Malloy?
Yes, sir.
Let's jump in. All right. First case on the bonded arraignment calendar is Umar Ali. Okay. Do you know who the attorney is on it? That's okay. Don't worry about it. There's a waiver. We'll figure out who the attorney is in a bit.
Okay.
Jennifer Battle.
Conference, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Battle. You may sit down. Jamie Bieber. Conference. Thank you. Jamarcus Bell. Bell? No?
That's for a bond forfeiture and bench warrant.
Granted. I don't know what that is, but y'all mark it as do not reset. It looks like it's a felony that came down to us.
Yeah, I think it was intent to distribute felony, possession of a firearm, felony.
Yeah.
Not down to us.
It just scares me a little bit. Let's just mark it as do not reset and make everything stop moving.
Yeah, there was a gun involved.
Yeah. Kadeja Bell?
Conference.
All right. Good morning. Thank you. All right. David Brown. I assume there's a waiver.
Judge, I'm recused on that case.
Oh, this is the one. He filed a waiver.
Coweta County has been assigned that.
Joe's, not Joe in Fayette. Joe in Coweta is on that case. It's all good. I'm not recused and I'm keeping that one. Just say it out loud. All right. Nadia Brown. Brown.
That's for a bond forfeiture and bench warrant.
Right. And everybody can mark David Brown as the prosecutor on that case is the Coweta County
Yes.
Solicitor's Office.
You say Joe was in it?
Yes, I'm having a senior moment. He used to work in Henry, he moved over to Coweta. Not Joe Myers. All right, Evan Berta? Berta? No?
That's for a bond forfeiture and bench warrant.
Granted. All right, this is back to you, Mr. Malloy. Jenny Chapman?
Conference, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, Sharon Collier? Collier? No?
That's for a bond forfeiture and bench warrant.
Granted. All right, Craddock is virtual.
That's one of ours, Judge.
Okay. Do you want me to just grab her number for you and let her? Okay.
Yes.
All right, Keyshawn. All right, Keyshawn Craddock, you there? I sent you an unmute request.
She has two cases.
Oh, thank you. All right. No movement. I'll come back. I'll just get a number and get it to y'all and cut it loose. Oh, there we go.
Hello.
Keyshawn Craddock, is that you? You there? This is why I do these afterwards. I'm just gonna mute it. All right, I'll come back to it. This is why I don't do those during the calendar call. All right, Aiden Cure? Cure? No?
That's for a bond forfeiture and bench warrant.
Granted. And on Craddock, I just put you down for a conference. I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
I just jumped the gun there. All right. I show that Lacey Davis is in jail. So through a schedule, I did not quite think through this week. So just to say it out loud, I'd like us to talk because there's no jail calendar this week because Wednesday's Juneteenth. And so this is on me. I did not put all this together. So let's just talk generally and figure out Piper's got a couple of good ideas on how we can address those, the jail cases, as we go. Again, sorry. All right, Notarius Davis. Davis,
That's for bond forfeiture and bench warrant.
granted. Brendan Folsom. Folsom,
That's for bond forfeiture and bench warrant.
granted. Jason Ford,
Judge,
This is the bench trial.
go ahead. All right, thank you. Hold on a second.
this is the one we got some communications from his family.
Okay.
Is that you, Mr. Ford?
Yeah, I'm not here today.
Okay. Just hold tight. Well,
Okay.
I'd say we're gonna be dismissing this case.
All right, I'm gonna just put it down for a conference. Grab a seat. If you still want your bench trial after your conference, that's fine. All right, Thomas Gonzalez. All right, conference. Thank you. Ariane Gray. Gray,
That one was reset to August the 27th.
Yes.
Okay.
That's correct. It's on for trial. I think there's a separate case maybe.
okay. And we're like putting them together.
Yes, sir.
This sounds great. Thank you all for doing that. Zakaria Hastings? Hastings? No?
That's for bond forfeiture and bench warrant.
Granted. Mariah Hightower? Thank you. Taisha Hill? Hill? No?
Judge, we'll ask for a bond forfeiture and a bench warrant on this case.
Okay.
This is the one that was an the wreck on I-75 with a 1-year-old was ejected and killed.
I knew that case was out there.
We'd ask you not to let this bench warrant.
That's granted. I'm so sorry. I just was looking at the charges.
There was five children in the backseat of the car. None of them were strapped in.
So is there, I don't see a vehicular,
The other driver was charged with vehicular homicide.
that's what I'm, okay. And is the other driver upstairs or coming here? Upstairs.
It involved a hit and run.
That,
So
okay,
it's
now I'm
felony
understanding.
upstairs.
Okay.
There was no charge on this case to hang a vehicular homicide.
Got it. Okay. Okay. Do not reset. Brandy Holland.
Conference, please.
I'm sorry?
Conference.
Conference. Thank you. Laura Lee Hunter.
Jerry.
All right. Do you want to talk to the public defender's office?
Yeah.
All right. You sit tight. Ms. Porter over here is going to call your name here in just a little bit, and she'll give you your next set of instructions.
It's a 2019 case. How was that?
I don't know. We should figure out the answer to that. All right. Dalton Hunton. Mr. Malloy. He's here. All right. Thank you, Mr. Hunton. Just grab a seat. Javis Johnson. Johnson. No?
That's for a bond forfeiture and bench warrant.
Granted. All right. Richard Joyner. All right. Hey, Mr. Joyner. All right. Attorney. Thank you. I need his personal information because there's an officer here that named Richard Joyner, and I have him, and in the database, I'm having a difficult time keeping the two separated. So if I could just get all of his information, I could use it to sort them out. So, Mr. Joyner, once you talk to the public defender's office, give them all your information. Yeah, we've been doing this for been around a while now. All right, Franklin Kelsey. Kelsey? No?
That's for a bond forfeiture and bench warrant.
Granted. Rex Kendrick? Oh, all right. Mr. Kendrick, do you want to talk to the public defender's office? No? Are you waiving the right to apply for their services, Mr. Kendrick? You need to stand back up, Mr. Kendrick. We're not finished talking. And just for the record, you were the one who was sleeping when I was going through it. And you and I have a very long history together, and I was trying to be really nice about it. So, yet again, you are stepping way in the wrong direction. Take a deep breath, answer my question, and pay attention. Mr. Kendrick, you want a bench trial. Do you want to apply with the public defender's office, or do you want to represent yourself? Good call. Grab a seat. Talk to Miss Porter. All right, Thomas Lyons is in jail. Chaz Moore. Conference. Thank you. Conley Nilsson. Good morning. Ms. Shepherd, you want to try and talk to him or let it roll?
I mean, it's another 2019 case.
All right.
We'll talk. Just put it in.
Okay. Jonathan, I want to talk to him because I want to know why there's 2019 cases on here.
I'm sure it's multiple benchmarks.
Yeah. Jonathan Amaro.
Conference, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Quentin Owens.
Conference.
Thank you. John Park.
Conference.
Thank you. Devontae Pate.
Conference, Your Honor.
Okay, they've already got you. You're good to go. Thank you. All right, back to you, Mr. Malloy. Michael Patterson, right behind you. Conference it is. All right, Jordan Peavy is in jail. That's Dwayne Singleton's. I don't know if they filed a waiver or not. We'll circle back.
I think they have. I think he's got pretty serious charges pending upstairs.
Okay, they're usually real good about that. Cornell Peterson, that's you, Mr. Malloy. Mm-mm.
Nope.
I have a Loveless is the only other. Actually, let me make sure I didn't mess up Loveless here. Actually, I don't have a Loveless on the calendar. All right, I'll just make a note that's supposed to be virtual. We'll circle back.
She's supposed to be home from Florida.
Okay. Well, maybe it's Trina Loveless. We'll find out. All right, Latunwe Gaines, or Rains, excuse me, Rains, Rains.
That's for a bond forfeiture and a benchmark.
Granted.
Your Honor, that is our client.
Okay.
Rains is.
Okay, Rains is yours as well. All right, I saw Mr. McCord come in, Carl Ray.
Yes, sir, that's, I believe today, just a compliance hearing for PTI, Judge, and I'm back and forth between you and Judge Ballard this morning.
Okay. All right, we'll get you taken care of. Benjamin Reese. All right, thank you. Sit tight. Miss Porter will talk to you. Antonio Slayton.
Conference.
Conference, thank you. Everybody good so far? All right, Cedric Slaughter is Mr. Malloy's, and he's here.
Conference.
All right, thank you. Tina Smith, 2 cases.
An attorney.
Okay. Sit tight. Miss Porter will talk to you.
Yes.
Okay, I have that Kevin Snow will be here Thursday.
I'm here, Your Honor.
Oh, okay. What do you,
Accountability court?
are you working towards our accountability court?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he just needs to do his plea.
We could do it.
Yeah,
We could do it today. Okay, well, let's go ahead and do it while you're here. So sit tight. We'll come back to you. All right, Daryl Stammers. Good morning. Conference, thank you. Carlton Tucker, Mr. Malloy. There he is. All
Conference.
right, thank you, Mr. Malloy. Travis Turner. There he is. Ben Strom, do you want to talk to the public defender's office?
Yes, sir.
All right, you sit tight. Miss Porter will talk to you and give you your instructions. Macy Varela. All right, thank you. Jasmine Walker. All right. Thank you. Brandon Williams. Brandon Williams, oh, there you are.
Conference, Your Honor.
All right, he's yours. Thank you. All right, Jukes
Got 2
Conference.
cases.
Oh, okay. Wow, 2 serious cases. Okay,
Actually, got a third case.
there is.
Yes,
What's the third one?
24 SR 0542. That's a suspended license and expired tag.
Ooh, Okay. All right, Mr. Williams, there is a third case on my docket. I'm putting all three cases on this calendar so they all move through together. All right, he's nodding his head and saying okay.
And we have all three, Judge.
So, okay, well, I just want to put all three. I appreciate that. And that way all three will be on this calendar and all three will move forward together. All right. All right, Mr. Shepherd, do you have any announcements? Oh, let me make my part. Sorry. All right, is there anyone here whose name was not called? There's always a couple. If so, stand up for me. Except when there's not. Fantastic. What a great way to start a Monday. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is let Mr. Shepherd make some announcements and then Mr. Malloy, and then we'll get the conferences started and get you all moving back to your lives. So.
Good morning, y'all. I'm Patrick Shepherd. I'm the solicitor. It means I'm the prosecutor. This is Jackie Tony. She's the other solicitor. We'll be the ones doing the conferences this morning. There's a good many of you who have an attorney. If you have an attorney, just follow your attorney's instructions for the rest of the morning. If you do not have an attorney, you've asked for a conference, and that's quite a few of you. What's going to happen is in just a few minutes, Ms. Sherry Middleton here with the pink shirt on there. We'll start calling names. If she calls your names, you're going to go out the double doors over here to my right, your left. Follow Ms. Middleton down that hallway. There's a little waiting area outside my office. Have a seat in one of those chairs. Either myself or Ms. Tony will call you back one at a time for your conference. When you're done with your conference, you're going to come back to the same hallway, through the same double doors, quietly have a seat here in the courtroom to either get your instructions for your trial date or enter your plea. When you come back in the courtroom, make sure that you do use the double doors. We have, let's see, 2 attorneys, 3 attorneys. So if your attorneys tell you what to do, just follow the instructions. If not, we'll get to you in a few minutes. All right? Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Terrence Malloy. I'm one of the 2 attorneys from the Duke's firm that's with the public defender's office. My partner here is Mr. Harry Charles to my left. He's the other attorney. One of the 2 of us will call you back individually. We'll talk about your case, because we already have notes in the file to let you know your cases stand, your cases at this moment, and we'll address all that when we call you back. For those of you who want to apply for our services, my court administrator, Ms. Porter, who was the lady in the white dress who stepped out, she will call you back to one of the jury rooms and go over that process with you this morning. So you should receive the answer to that question today on whether or not you qualify for the public defender. If you do, we will take your case moving forward. If you don't, you have 2 choices. That's either to represent yourself or hire a private attorney to represent you. But again, if you don't qualify, we will not be representing you. You should get that answer today. But for those of you who already have files on, here's how this works. Say, either myself, Mr. Charles, going to call a name. If we come in here and you call your name, you're not present, we're going to do this. Put your file on the bottom of the pile. It means you got to wait till we come back to it again. If we go through that process a second time and call your name a second time and then put your name on the bottom of the pile, at that point, you have to address Judge Stacker, and he'll tell you what happens after that. The best way to help us help you folks, like Mr. Shepherd says, we do this all the time. We're real good at this. We'll get you out of here as fast as possible. But the best way to help us, help you be present when we call your name, it's just that simple. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to just take it from there.
And Mr. Malloy and I do this every day. So I'm going to say the same thing he said a little bit differently, which is, hey, one of you on a statistical level is going to volunteer to go to jail. So let me say that again more slowly. One of you on a statistical level is going to volunteer to go to jail. So what does that look like? We don't know why this happens, but it happens every court date. And we've had to put a system in place for it, which is, here's the instructions I'm about to give you. Here's a preview of the entire instructions. We're all human. We all need to go to the restroom. Step to the restroom, get back to your seats immediately. Like, that's the instructions I'm about to give you. But what happens is every day, one person wanders off and doesn't come back. And I don't know why they think that's the right thing to do. Oil changes, haircuts, they can all wait. They can wait. But just saying, one of you today, statistically speaking, will wander off. I'll have to issue a warrant for you. I'm definitely going to mark you as no bond because you can't be trusted to come to court or stay there. And then I'll come see you in a few weeks out in the jail. So don't make me do that. But on a statistical level, one of you is, and I'm sorry, and I hope it's not today. So here's what's going to happen. It's 9:40. What's going to happen is when I step off this bench, there's going to be a ton of movement. But the next phase goes quicker if I'm not sitting here, if I'm back there. Because the solicitor's office is going to be calling people quicker than you think out these double doors. The public defender's office is going to be calling people quicker than you think up to the jury room, and the bailiffs are going to be calling people out that room. You'll see everything's built around you being in this spot. If you're not in this spot, we can't do our jobs. So with that said, it's 9:40. I'm going to step off the bench until 10:20. 10:20. And your instructions are very simple. You've already heard them. Hey, step to the restroom for those that you need to. Get right back in your seats and wait for your name to be called. Miss Middleton, the floor is yours.
Thanks. If I call your name, if you'll go through the
All right, let's try Craddock again. I just need a phone number from him. Craddock, you there? And Loveless.
Yeah, well, we're supposed to have the other one, which we thought was gonna be Cornell Peterson.
And who knows, maybe Trina Loveless is Cornell Peterson. Who knows? Crazier things have happened. All right, Keyshawn Craddock, I sent you an unmute request. If you'll approve that, please.
Hello?
Perfect. All right, Mr. Craddock, all I need from you is a phone number. That's all I need. What's a good phone number? Oh, come on. Can you hear me okay? I love virtual court. Oh, man. How about this? You there, Mr. Craddock? All right, well, let's mute him and we'll try to talk to Loveless, whoever that is. All right, Trina Loveless. I've sent you an unmute request, if you'll approve that.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. I don't see you on my calendar. Are you Trina Loveless?
Yes, I am. I was sitting in for my daughter, Nadia Brown.
Ah, okay, that makes sense. All right, let me go back and find that one. There she is. All right, is she next to you there?
No, she's in the military, and I sent her paperwork like a week ago.
Okay, hold on. I do remember that paperwork coming across my desk.
Okay.
Hold on, don't move. Yep, there it is. I'm looking at it now. I don't remember if it said that she had a scheduled return date on there. She's in the Navy, right?
Yes, she's in
Okay.
Pensacola right now.
Okay. Does it have, I remember it saying on here somewhere about 68 days. Does that mean anything?
I'm not aware of 6 to 8 days. I know when the letter first got sent out, she was Chicago, then she got shipped to Pensacola. Um, I'm not sure about 6 to 8 days.
Okay, that's fine. I was just trying to figure out when she was going to be back. Well, let me rephrase that. When she's scheduled to be back.
That's a good question.
I mean,
Not sure at the
I know it's the
moment.
military.
Yes.
I tell you what, is the address that we have, the address we have on file for her is, hold that thought. Let's just make sure we have a good address. And it can be your address if that'll work.
Yeah, you can have my address. That'll be better.
All right, give me just a second. I'm going to update it in the system. And then what we'll do is we'll just mail a new court notice. a little way out.
Okay.
And that way, hopefully she can be back by then. All right,
I
now,
know. Okay.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
You know, I was saying, she's supposed to graduate from Pensacola, and then they said her next step was gonna be Virginia. So I don't know how much time frame she had between Pensacola and Virginia.
Well, we do
So
virtual court. I mean, obviously
okay,
you're doing that, so we can do it. We just need we just need to plan ahead a little bit. So,
okay,
um, all right, I'm ready. I've got her pulled up. So, I have the address for her as, let's see, 2708 Roberts Quarters Road.
yes,
All right, Concord, Georgia, 30286.
30206.
All
Yes,
right. What's a good email address to either get to you or get to her?
it's T Loveless 100 at gmail.com.
All right, so tloveless100 at gmail.com.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, got it. All right, well, I tell you what, I'm just gonna direct my clerk, so I'm gonna lift the warrant. Let's actually mark that as it never was a warrant, everybody, because they had that ahead of time. I just did not connect those two. So no warrant. I'm gonna put that active military reset and that we will mail a notice to 2708 Roberts Quarters Road, Concord, Georgia, 30286.
30206.
Okay,
Yes.
30206. Got it.
Okay.
All right. Um, oh, do you know the last four of her social? Just the last four only?
Um,
It's okay if you don't.
I'm not right here. I had to look it up.
No, don't worry about it. Okay,
Okay.
you are good to go. She is good to go. We'll push this off several months and then bring her back then.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. You're good to go.
All right. Bye.
So that was 23 SR 1433. It's the second case on page 2, Nadia Brown. And she sent that ahead of time, and I did not connect those two in my records. So push that off as far as you want to. So, all right, let's try to talk to your guy one more time.
Yes, sir. And I guess, okay, just try credit, yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, when your other guy shows up, we can talk to him. All right, Craddock, let's try this one last time.
Hello.
Are you there? Can you hear me? Yes or no? Okay. I'm just going to message him. How about that? Okay, I'm done. take your hand down, state your full name for me.
Chance Tyler Moore.
All right, Mr. Moore, you are here today on 23 SR 1117. According to my calendar, you were on time for court. Did you hear the rights I read out to the courtroom, and did you see the PowerPoint that I put up on the wall?
I did.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Moore, you have passed up to me this this self-represented defendant plea rights waiver. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Do you recognize it as the written version of those rights I read out earlier?
Yes, sir.
Are those your initials next to each of the lines on page 1,
Yes, sir.
page 2?
Yes, sir.
Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time that you needed to review it
Yes, sir.
and because you understood everything that's on it?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Moore, do you understand that you have the right to have an attorney represent you
Yes, sir.
and you're here representing yourself?
Yes, sir.
Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that you have the right to a jury trial
Yes, sir.
and that by entering this plea, there will be no trial and this case will be closed? Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, let's talk about the facts of your case just a bit. You're charged with one count of theft by receiving stolen property, and that you did here in Spalding County back on May 3rd of 2023. You did take property of Alejandra Beltran, which according to the court records would have been a utility trailer, which you knew or should have known. Oh no, you received it, and that you knew or should have known that it was stolen, and you did not receive it with the intent to restore it to the owner. Did you do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on really quick. Let's let Ms. Milton call the next group.
Can I please see Kevin Snow? If you'll come through these double doors, please?
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. All right. So I'm going to find with your admission of guilt that there's enough for me to take your plea. I'm going to find that you're knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving your rights in entering this plea. I've reviewed the recommendation and I'll follow it as negotiated. Do you have any questions for me about anything before I sentence?
No, sir.
All right. Chaz Moore on theft by receiving stolen property on 23 SR 1117. I'm going to find you guilty. It's 12 months of probation. $870 is your fine. That's a total of 12 months. You may work off your fine with community service work. You'll need to show a valid license to sentence enforcement. No illegal drugs, alcohol, or hemp products, and you'll be tested for those. $50 per month supervision fee, $25 intake fee. This is consecutive to any current state court sentence. Your case may close the moment you've satisfied your obligations to the court. Those obligations include a $1,000 restitution payment to Alejandra Beltran. And the way you will make that payment is you will make a one-time payment of $1,000 to the clerk of court downstairs on the first floor within 180 days of today. You will then take that receipt showing that payment to sentence enforcement, and that'll be your proof that you've made that payment in full.
Yes, sir.
You're to have no contact whatsoever with Beltran. And this is concurrent, although this is consecutive to any current sentence, I'm going to make a note that it's a state court sentence since you're on felony probation. All right, you have 30 days from today if you wish to appeal this decision. You have 12 months from today if you wish to use your habeas rights. All right, any questions about anything before you and I part ways?
No, sir.
All right, Mr. Moore, Mr. Phillips is going to walk you out those double doors and have you meet with the sentence enforcement team. Good luck to you. All right, next case up is Owens, Quentin Owens. All right, Ms. Owens, if you will please raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
All right, take your hand down. If you'll state your full name for me.
Quentin Hayes Owens.
And Mr. Owens, you're here on 22 SR 1648. And according to my calendar, you are on time for court today. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Did you hear the rights I read out to the courtroom? And did you see the PowerPoint that I put up on the wall?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes, sir.
Any questions I can answer for you about any of those rights?
No.
You have passed up to me the self-represented defendant plea rights waiver. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir, I do.
And do you recognize it as the written version of those rights I read out earlier?
Yes, sir.
Are those your initials next to each of the lines on page 1?
Yes, they are.
Page 2?
Yes, they are.
Is that your signature?
Yes, it is.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time that you needed to review it
Yes, sir, I did.
and because you understood everything that's on it?
Yes, I did.
Are there any questions I can answer for you about anything on this document?
No, sir.
You have the right to have an attorney represent you. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
And you're here representing yourself. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, I do.
Do you understand that you have the right to a jury trial?
Yes, I do.
And that by entering this plea, there will be no trial and this case will be closed. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
Are you 21 years of age or older?
Yes, I am.
And have you used a NOLO on any suspended license charge in the last 5 years?
No, sir, I haven't.
All right, we're in good shape then. All right, do you want me to accept this NOLO for driving that occurred on December 2nd, 2020, here in Spalding County and resulted in this suspended license charge?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm gonna find that your request for a NOLO is proper and I'm gonna grant it.
Thank you.
I'm gonna find that you're knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving your rights and entering this plea. I reviewed the recommendation and I'll follow it exactly the way you've negotiated it.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions for me about anything before I sentence?
No, I don't.
All right, here we go. Mr. Owens, on 22 SR 1648, the suspended license, the NOLO is granted. 12 months of probation, 742.50 is your fine. You may work off your fine with community service work if you wish. You will need to show a valid license to sentence enforcement. Have you gotten your license back?
Yes, sir.
Great job. Okay. No illegal drugs, alcohol, or hemp products should be tested for those. Fourth Amendment waiver, $50 per month supervision fee, $25 intake fee. This is consecutive to any state court sentence, and your case will close the moment you've satisfied your obligations to the court. You technically have to do 1 day, but by the time you get everything sorted to close, that will have been satisfied. You have 30 days from today if you wish to appeal this decision, and you have 6 months from today if you want to use your habeas rights. Can I answer any questions for you about anything before you and I part ways?
No, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. Mr.
Thank
Yarborough is
you.
going to walk you out, have you meet with the sentence enforcement team. All right. Next case is Jenny Chapman. If you'll come to the podium, please. All right. If you'll please raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right. If you'll take your hand down and state your full name for me.
Jeannie Rochelle Chapman.
Okay.
I'm just sorry, Judge, I'm sure it's, the Duke's.
No. No, it's good catch.
That's,
I thought these were
It
my
is.
self-representatives. Hold on, I may have gotten you out of order. I thought I was working my way through my self-representatives, but I think that's on me. Yeah, I mistakenly slid you into my self-representatives. I'm sorry. If you'll grab a seat. Thank you, Kathy. Sorry about that scare, Miss Chapman. So, yeah, man, I'm the luckiest judge in Georgia, and I know it. Y'all, I am the luckiest judge in Georgia, and I know it because I have really good people who keep me out of the ditch every day. So that was, let's make sure we got this one. All right, it looks like I can deal with Jonathan Amaro. Thank you. All right, now I've got them in the right order. Okay, Mr. Amaro, raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, take your hand down and state your full name for me.
Jonathan Mark O'Morrow Jr.
All right, and Mr. Amaro, you are here today on 22 SR 1914, and according to my record, you were on time for court today. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you hear the rights I read out to the courtroom, and did you see the PowerPoint that I put up on the wall?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Amaro, did you have passed up to me the self-represented defendant plea rights waiver. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Do you recognize it as the written version of those rights I read out earlier?
Yes, sir.
Are those your initials next to each of the lines on page 1?
Yes, sir.
Page 2?
Yes, sir.
Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time that you needed to review it
Yes, sir.
and because you understood everything that's on it?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Amaro, did you see on here where it says you have the right to have an attorney represent you?
Yes, sir.
You're here representing yourself. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have the right to a jury trial.
Yes, sir.
but that by entering this plea, there will be no jury trial. This case will be closed. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
All right. You are charged with one count of shoplifting and that you did here in Spalding County back on February 2nd of 2021 commit the offense of shoplifting by taking merchandise of Walmart to your own use by concealing it and depriving Walmart of ownership. Did you do that?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm going to find with your admission of guilt that there's enough for me to take your plea. I'm going to find that you're knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving your rights. I reviewed the recommendation and I'll follow it. Do you have any questions for me about anything before I sentence?
The only thing I have a question about is that fine, can it be converted to community service or not?
Oh, absolutely. Every penny of it. No problem at all. And they'll do it. Probation has the authority. I've given the sentence enforcement team the authority to do it without having to come back to me.
Okay, I
So-
live in Alabama,
Yeah, happy
so I
to-
can do it there? Okay,
As long as you do it at a place that they've approved, you'll be fine. So, but we're very flexible on that. We want folks to go home to their own communities and improve their own communities.
thank you.
So you're going to be just fine on that.
All right, thank you very much.
Oh, else, so you live, you know what that means? I need to put you on e-report because you're not gonna, oh, you are on e-report. I get it there.
Yes, sir. And he said as soon as I paid the fines, he'd,
Yeah, that's on there too. So, okay, that's a good question. Any other questions?
no, sir.
All right, you ready for me to sentence?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. Jonathan O'Mara on 22 SR 1914, count one shoplifting, guilty. 12 months, $372.50 is your fine. You may work off your fine with community service work. Just communicate with the sentence enforcement team and they'll give you those details.
Thank you.
Show you valid license to sentence enforcement. No alcohol, illegal drugs, or hemp products should be tested for those. This is consecutive to any state court sentence. You're going to be on e-report. And as you stated a second ago, I'm going to honor the request that your case terminate the moment you satisfied your obligations to the court. This sentence does include a do not go near Walmart clause. And the reason I'm pointing that out, but I also need to point out that in addition to that, Walmart may have already served you with a don't come back here notice. If they have, make sure you honor that even after this case is closed.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
you have 30 days from today if you wish to appeal this decision. You have 12 months from today if you wish to use your habeas rights. Any questions?
No, sir.
All right, Mr. Williams can walk you out double doors
Thank
and
you,
have
Your
you go
Honor.
meet with the sentence enforcement team. No, it's okay. Kathy Slayton is in all process.
And then this is Mr. Snow, he's the accountability court plea.
Oh, okay.
And that's his contract. Everything there.
Perfect.
There's no reason for him to go probation.
Ms. Morgan, I need a probation report.
That makes sense. All right. All right, Cure. All right, raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear this, that you swear or affirm the testimony about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
All right, take your hand down, state your full name for me.
Aiden McCarty Curtis Cure.
All right, Mr. Cure, oh, well, I'm gonna keep going. All right, Mr. Cure, you're here on 23 SR 0851. I'm holding up this self-represented defendant plea rights waiver. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
Are those your initials next to each of the lines on page 1?
Yes.
Page 2?
Yes.
Is that your signature?
Yes.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time that you needed to review it
Yes.
and because you understood everything that's on it?
Yes.
Did you see on here where it says you have the right to have an attorney represent you
Yes.
and you're here representing yourself?
Yes.
Is that what you want to do?
Yes. Yes.
Do you understand that you have the right to have a jury trial
Yes.
and that by entering this plea, there will be no trial and this case will be closed? Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the facts of your case. Are you 21 years of age or older?
Yes.
Have you used a NOLO on any suspended license charge in the last 5 years?
No.
And are you asking me to accept this NOLO on this suspended license charge from March 19th, 2022 here in Spalding County?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna find that your request for a NOLO is proper and I'm gonna grant it. I'm gonna find that you're knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving your rights and entering this plea. I reviewed the recommendation and I'll follow it as negotiated. Do you have any questions for me about anything before I sentence?
No.
All right, you ready?
Yes.
All right, here we go. Mr. Kira, on 23 SR 0851, count one, suspended license. The NOLO is granted. It's 12 months probation, 870 is your fine. You may work off your fine with community service work if you wish. Count two is dismissed. Show your valid license to sentence enforcement. No alcohol, no illegal drugs, alcohol, or hemp products should be tested for those. Fourth Amendment waiver, $50 per month supervision fee, $25 intake fee. This is consecutive to any state court sentence, and your case will close the moment you've satisfied your obligations to the court and 1 day having passed. You have 30 days from today if you wish to appeal this decision. You have 6 months from today if you wish to use your habeas rights. All right, can I
Okay.
answer any questions for you about anything?
So when they say 1 day, like what does that mean? Like,
The Georgia law requires me to put you on probation for at least 1 day.
okay.
So like some tickets are just payable. You can just go to the clerk's office and pay it. And that's how the legislature removed that one from the payable tickets. And that I'm required to put you on probation for no less than 1 day, no more than 12 months.
Okay.
Like I said, it's just the way they set it up.
Okay.
That's a good question though. All right, Mr. Clint's gonna walk you
Appreciate
out. Staines? Stamers? I knew I said it wrong. Sorry about that. If you will please raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, take your hand down. If you'll state your full name for me.
Dario and Stamos.
All right, Mr. Stamos, you're here on 22 SR 1532. You were on time for court today, is that correct?
Yes.
Did you hear the rights I read out to the courtroom, and did you see the PowerPoint that I put up on the wall?
Yes.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes.
Mr. Stamos, you have passed up to me this self-represented defendant plea rights waiver. Do you recognize this document I'm holding up?
Yes.
Do you recognize it as the written version of those rights I read out earlier?
Yes.
Are these your initials next to each of the lines on page
Yes.
1? Page 2?
Yes.
Page 3? I mean, is that your signature?
Yes.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time that you needed to review it?
Yes.
I'm sorry?
Yes.
Okay. And because you understood everything that's on it?
Yes.
Okay. Did you see on here where it says you have the right to have an attorney represent you?
Yes.
And you're here representing yourself?
Yes.
Is that what you want to do?
I got Tony.
Do you want to waive your right to have an attorney?
Yes.
Yes. And do you want to represent yourself?
Yes.
Okay. Do you understand that you have the right to a jury trial?
Yes.
And that by entering this plea, there will be no trial and this case will be closed? Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. You are charged with 1 count of disorderly conduct, and that you did commit disorderly conduct on November 10th of 2020 here in Spalding County by acting in a disorderly manner in the presence of a Melissa Tanner in a manner that threatened the immediate breach of the peace. That is a reduced charge. Did you do that?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to find with your admission of guilt that there's enough for me to take your plea. I'm going to find that you're knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving your rights and entering this plea. I reviewed the recommendation and I'll follow it as negotiated. Do you have any questions that I can answer for you?
No.
Okay. Mr. Shamus, on 22 SR 1532, count 1, disorderly conduct, I'm going to find you guilty. It's 12 months probation, $590 is your fine. You may work off your fine with community service work if you wish. Show your valid license to sentence enforcement. No alcohol, illegal drugs, or hemp products should be tested for those. Fourth Amendment waiver, $50 per month supervision fee, $25 one-time intake fee. This is consecutive to any state court sentence. You may go to e-report after your orientation. Your case will close once 6 months have passed, no violations have occurred, and all conditions have been met. That includes 20 hours of community service work at no less than 6 hours per week and no contact whatsoever with Melissa Tanner. You have 30 days from today if you wish to appeal this decision. You have 12 months from today if you wish to use your habeas rights. All right, Mr. Stamos, can I answer any questions for you about anything before you and I part ways?
No.
Okay, Mr. Yarbrough's gonna walk you out and have you go meet, or Mr. Williams is gonna walk you out and have you go meet with the sentence enforcement team. Thank you. Yes. Okay. Oh, you're out? They probably have some. Okay, I can print you one. Yeah. I can print just a blank, but we'll need to get some new ones.
What are we out of?
The probation, intake sheets, we use them for the virtual people. Do you have any?
I've got a couple in my office. I
Um,
was gonna tell you, we are, circling the drain on out of police sheets.
Yes, in fact, I have a note to email you out the draft today. So I've got to,
Get you some of those.
I've got to get that out. All right, Mr. Snow, come on up. All right, this is our accountability court plea. All right, Mr. Snow, thank you for your patience today. This will keep you from having to come back Thursday. So sorry to take up your morning, but I thought we could go ahead and get this done while you're here and you wouldn't have to come back on Thursday. Well, Thursday morning. So, all right. So, Mr. Snow, if you will please raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, take your hand down. State your full name for me.
Kevin Snow.
All right, and you're a junior?
Yes.
All right. And Mr. Snow, your name is spelled with Kavin, correct?
Yes.
All right. So you're here on 23 SR 1290. What we're going to do is call it our accountability court plea. We generally call it the half a plea because what we're going to do is we're going to take your plea all the way to the sentencing, but I'm not going to sentence today. You're going to go complete our accountability court, and then you're going to get a dismissal instead. I assume you'd rather do that.
Yes.
Excellent. Well, Mr. Snow, you were on time for court today. Is that correct?
Yes.
Did you hear the rights I read out to the courtroom, and did you see the PowerPoint that I put up on the wall?
I did.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes.
You have passed up to me this self-represented defendant plea rights waiver. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
Do you recognize it as the written version of those rights I read out earlier?
Yes.
Are those your initials next to each of the lines on page 1?
Yes, sir.
All right, you're missing one on the back. Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
All right, I'm just going to initial that line. We're going to keep going. Are those your initials other than the one spot I've initialed on page 2?
Yes.
And is that your signature?
That is, yes, sir.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time that you needed to review it?
Yes.
And because you understood everything that's on it?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Snow, do you see on here, and did you hear me say that you have the right to have an attorney represent you?
Yes, I did.
And you're here representing yourself?
Yes, sir.
Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
Do you understand that you have the right to a jury trial?
Yes.
And that by entering this plea, there will be no trial, this case will be closed. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so let's talk through the facts of your case. Did you, here in Spalding County, back on March 18th of 2023, commit the offense of DUI, and that you operated a motor vehicle on a public road, did you operate a motor vehicle while under the influence of alcohol to the extent it was less safe for you to drive? Did you do that?
Yes.
Did you also operate your motor vehicle during that same course of events while your license to operate such motor vehicles was suspended by the Georgia Department of Driver Services?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to find that you are knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving your rights and entering this plea. I reviewed the recommendation, and if it ever becomes necessary for me to sentence, I will sentence you exactly according to what you have negotiated. At this point, what I'm going to do is just simply have you, so I need him to sign right there.
And Judge, he's fairly well into the program already. I believe he's not far from phase 2. It's just he came one day to enter this plea, but we had, it was like a Wednesday afternoon, and we finished a little early before he got here, and so he's made efforts to come in and do this.
Yes.
So
Wonderful. Well, thank you for that. So, well, Mr. Snow, good job so far in the accountability court program. The way this is going to work is I'm going to keep this top one, and then, all right, that goes to him. And then I'm giving you a copy of it, so just in case it ever becomes an issue, you know exactly what the terms were that you negotiated. Also, this, I have the original up here of the final disposition. It's going to get attached to the contract so that when it gets filed with the clerk, there will be no questions whatsoever as to what happens if things don't work out. But frankly, I'm hearing you're doing great from Mr. Shepherd there, so I'm really thrilled to hear that. When is your next check-in or whatnot with the accountability court?
Actually today.
Okay, so when you get checked in, make sure that you got that, and that goes over to Patrick, unless Karen's still here, which I don't see her. Okay,
All
do you
right.
have any questions for me?
No, sir.
Welcome. You're gonna love this tribe. They're a great group of people, and you're gonna really love how much they take care of each other.
Yes, sir. Mr. Joe Jeffers, he really got me on the right track.
Yes, good job.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Malloy, you ready for me to move over to your cases?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you have a preference as to what order we do?
The two here, Judge, so
Okay,
Chapman
Chapman.
and Boston, then Craddock is the one virtual.
All right, and then I'm gonna put the right sheet up for Craddock. All right, give me just a second. I'm having just a little bit of trouble here. There we go. All right, Mr. Craddock, there's an unmute request on your screen. Will you approve that really quickly?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Craddock, can you see that attorney and defendant plea rights waiver on your screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm going to do two pleas of two people that are here. And while I'm doing that, each of those will be reviewing this document. And I would like you to please be reviewing it. You'll realize pretty quick it is the written version of those rights I read out earlier. I just need to be able to make certain that if you were here in the courtroom, you could initial that document and sign it. Do you understand what I'm going to be looking for you when I come back to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to mute you and then I'll come back to you after two pleas, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, he's muted. All right, you're Miss Chapman. All right, Miss Chapman, if you will please raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right, if you will lean into that mic just a little bit, state your full name for me.
Jenny Rochelle Chapman.
Perfect. That's the volume I need. Miss Kathy's going to make a record of this so that you're protected down the road if we ever have to figure out who said what. All right, Miss Chapman, you were on time for court today, correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you hear the rights I read out to the courtroom? And
Yes,
did you
sir.
see the PowerPoint that I put up on the wall?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes, sir.
Your attorney has passed up to me this attorney and defendant plea rights waiver. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And do you recognize it as the written version of those rights I read out earlier?
Yes, sir.
Are those your initials next to each of the lines on page 1?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and page 2?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, and then there's your signature?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time that you needed to review it?
Yes, sir.
And a chance to ask your attorney any questions you have about it?
Yes, sir.
And because you understood everything that's on it?
Yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Chapman, do you have you had all the time that you need to speak with your attorneys about all aspects of your case?
Yes, sir.
Are you satisfied with the job they've done on your behalf?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that you have the right to a jury trial on your case?
Yes, sir.
And that by entering this plea, there will be no trial and this case will be closed. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
And this is a first offender plea?
Yes, Your Honor, that was Ms. Chapman's choice.
Okay. And Ms. Chapman, let's go ahead and review that. You're asking for first offender, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So the way that works is, just to make certain, I'm very likely going to grant that. And you will need to go complete all of your community service work. I'm so sorry, you'll need to complete all of your requirements. And once you've completed those and your case closes at the end of the 12 months, that's when you'll see the benefit of
Yes, sir.
first offender.
Yes, sir.
Do you also understand that if you don't do what you're supposed to do, you don't get a jury trial? We just come back to a hearing where you stand there and I sit here, and then I decide whether or not to take away your first offender and find you guilty.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I trust that you're going to do what you're supposed to do, and we won't have to cross that
Yes, sir.
bridge.
Yes, sir.
All right. That's what I want to hear. All right. Ms. Chapman, do you have any questions before I pivot to your attorney with my next set of questions?
No, sir.
Mr. Malloy, do you stipulate that there is a sufficient factual basis for me to take this shoplifting plea from October 28th, 2020 here in Spalding County?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Chapman, do you wish to enter a guilty plea under the first offender to that shoplifting charge?
Yes, sir.
I forgot to ask you, have you used first offender previously on anything else?
No, sir.
Okay, we're good to go then. All right, I'm going to find that you're knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving your rights and entering this plea. I reviewed the recommendation. I'm going to follow it. Mr. Malloy, the floor is yours if you want it.
Nothing, Your Honor, thank you.
Ms. Chapman, do you have any questions for me about anything before I sentence?
No, sir.
You ready?
Yes, sir.
Here we go. Jenny Chapman, 22 SR 1424, count 1, shoplifting, guilty, 12 months, $590 is your fine. You may work off your fine with community service work. Show your valid license to sentence enforcement. No alcohol, illegal drugs, or hemp products should be tested for those. Fourth Amendment waiver, $50 per month supervision fee, $25 intake fee. This is consecutive to any current sentence. $50 in restitution to Spalding County to offset the cost of your attorney. Your case may go to non-report once 3 months have passed, no violations have occurred, and all conditions have been met. You must complete 20 hours of community service work and have no contact whatsoever with Walmart. You understand that the first offender discharge, closing your case without an adjudication of guilt, will not occur until the end of the 12 months.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any question? You have 30 days from today if you wish to appeal this decision. You have 12 months from today if you wish to use your habeas rights. Any questions that I can answer for you about anything?
No, sir. Thank
All
you.
right. If you will go with Ms. Yarborough out of those double doors, and they'll have meet with the sentence enforcement team. All right, Hunton? Yeah. All right, if you'll please raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, if you'll take your hand down and state your full name for me.
Dalton Garrett Hunton.
All right. Mr. Hunton, you are here on 24 SR 0371. According to my calendar, you were on time for court. Did you hear the full rights that are read out to the courtroom, and did you see the full PowerPoint I put up on the wall?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes, sir.
Your attorney has passed up to me this attorney and defendant plea rights waiver. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Do you recognize it as the written version of those rights are read out earlier?
Yes, sir.
Are these your initials next to each of the lines on page 1?
That's correct.
Page 2?
Yes, sir.
Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign and initial it after having all the time that you needed to review it
Yes, sir.
and to ask your attorney any questions you have about it?
Yes, sir.
And because you understood everything that's on this document?
Yes, sir, I did.
Do you understand that you have the right, let's do it this way. Have you had all the time that you need to speak with your attorney about all aspects of your case?
Yes, sir.
Are you satisfied with the job your attorneys have done on your behalf?
Yes, sir, I am.
Do you understand that you have the right to a jury trial on your case?
Yes, sir.
And that by entering this plea, there will be no trial. This case will be closed. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir, it is.
All right. Mr. Malloy, do you stipulate that there's a factual basis to support this disorderly conduct plea from March 14th, 2024 here in Spalding County?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Hunton, do you wish to enter a guilty plea to that disorderly conduct charge?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm going to find between Mr. Malloy's stipulations, the factual basis, combined with Mr. Hunton's request to enter a disorderly conduct plea, that there's enough for me to take the plea. I'm going to find that Mr. Hunton is knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving his rights in entering this plea. I reviewed the recommendation, and I will follow it. Any question, anything you want to add, Mr. Malloy?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Hutton, on the day of this incident, it was his birthday. He did a little bit too much celebrating, and that's how this essentially occurred. But just make the court aware that he is the father of 3 kids, which he has sole custody of right now. There's been some other issues between he and his current wife, but they're in the process of getting a divorce, which includes a defects plan. One of the conditions on the sentence there was by he did the FFIP program.
Yes.
But I just wanted to make the court aware, because he has conditions with his deflex plan, I didn't know how the court wanted to maybe modify or tweak that. Because I don't know if they will accept what he's doing with defects to qualify as the program. It has to be the exact plan. I just wanted to address that with the court.
Sure.
Make the court aware that he is under a defects plan that includes family violence, intervention type activities.
All right, so I'm just going to put a note which will help sentence enforcement have a little more room to move. And I'm just going to put follow DFACS. Is it parenting plan or
The safety plan or?
safety plan?
It's parenting, but it's 12 domestic violence classes and 12 anger management classes, and I think a couple of parenting classes. I'm not too sure.
A whole lot more than the FFIP
Yeah,
program.
that's the same. Judge, I'd be fine with just converting it to complete, just making it, instead of the FFIP class, that he just complete his defects parenting plan as determined.
Okay, that's great, because that'll,
Two birds.
that way if that, yeah, I think this is great. Thank you for that, Mr. Shepherd. Okay, that cleans it up a little bit
Yes,
for
sir.
you.
That's what I
So,
was hoping for.
yeah, so now all you got to do is what DFACS tells you to do and we'll follow.
Okay,
And I'm
yes,
great
sir.
with that. So,
Yes, sir.
because they're the ones closest to the issue, which means they're the ones who can come up with the best solutions. So your responsibility in this will be communicating with the sentence enforcement team about it and making certain that they have whatever they need to communicate directly with DFACS. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, this looks great. Anything else, Mr. Malloy?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Mr. Hunton, any questions?
No, sir.
All right, you ready for me to sentence?
Yes, sir.
All right, Dalton Hunton on 24 SR 0371, count 1, disorderly conduct. I'm going to find you guilty. 12 months probation, 590 is your fine. You may work your fine off with community service work. Show your valid license to sentence enforcement. No illegal drugs, alcohol, or hemp products should be tested for those. Fourth Amendment waiver, $50 per month supervision fee, $25 intake fee. This will be consecutive to any current state court sentence. $50 in restitution to Spalding County to offset the cost of your attorney. 20 hours community service work at 6 hours per week, or no less than 6 hours per week. I'm removing the family violence intervention program. No violent contact with Sierra Hudgens. And I've written on here, follow DFACS parenting / safety plan. And I haven't written it on here, but that includes doing whatever needs to be done to make certain that DFACS and sentence enforcement may communicate with each other about your status and how you're doing.
Yes, sir.
You have 30 days from today if you wish to appeal this decision. You have 12 months from today if you wish to use your habeas rights.
Okay.
Any questions?
No, sir.
All right, Mr. Williams going to walk you out those double doors.
All right. Thank you very kindly.
All right, you ready to do Mr. Craddock's,
Yes,
please?
Your
All right. All right, Mr. Craddock, if you are there.
Yes, sir.
All right, let me see if I can. All right, do you have the ability to turn your video on there? If you can't, it's okay. We can do it without the video. I just would rather have it if we could. There we go. I see you great. So, all right, you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
All right, take your hand down and state your full name for me.
Deshaun Craddock.
All right, Mr. Craddock, you are here on 2 cases, 22 SR 2211 and 22 SR 2116. You are virtually on time for court today, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you hear the rights I read out to the courtroom, and did you see the PowerPoint that I put up on the wall?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes, sir.
Is it okay with you that we are handling this plea over this video conference system?
Yes, sir.
All right, now, I have had the attorney and defendant plea rights waiver up on your screen for the last several minutes. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Has there been enough time for you to be able to review the entire document from start to finish?
Yes, sir.
If you were here in the courtroom, would you have been able confidently to initial each of these lines and sign the back, showing me that you understood everything that's on it?
Yes, sir.
Did you have an opportunity to review these rights with your attorney prior to this plea?
Yes, sir.
And do you understand everything that's on that attorney and defendant plea rights waiver?
Yes.
All right, let's hit a couple of the highlights. Do you understand that you are about to enter a plea to two cases, one with a suspended license and an obstruction charge, and one with a disorderly conduct charge?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that you have the right to have a jury trial on each of those?
Yes, sir.
And by entering this plea, you're giving up that right to a jury trial, which includes that little bundle of rights in the middle of page 1 at the document on your screen.
Yes.
Do you wish to give up those rights and entering this plea and close this case?
Yes, sir.
And that gives up your right to a jury trial. You understand that?
Yes.
Have you had all the time that you need to speak with Mr. Malloy, who's standing in the middle of the courtroom here, about your cases?
Yes, sir.
Are you satisfied with the job he and Mr. Charles have done on your behalf?
Yes.
Do you understand that if you need to speak with them privately, you can just tell me and I'll stop the plea and let them step out and speak with you privately off record? Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, this all looks good. All right, do you have any other questions for me about anything on that, the defendant, attorney and defendant plea rights waiver, before I pivot to your charges?
No, sir, I do not.
All right. All right, let's start with 22 SR 2211. Mr. Craddock, you're charged with one count, reduced charge of disorderly conduct. Mr. Malloy, do you stipulate that there's a factual basis to support this disorderly conduct plea from events that occurred on October 8th, 2022 here in Spalding County?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Craddock, do you wish to enter a guilty plea to that disorderly conduct charge?
Yes, sir.
All right, and Mr. Craddock, moving on to the next case, I'm going to ask Mr. Well, I can do that one. Have you used a NOLO on any suspended license charge in the last 5 years?
No, sir.
Are you 21 years of age or older?
Yes.
And are you asking me to accept a NOLO for driving that occurred here in Spalding County on May 18th, 2022 and resulted in this suspended license charge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Malloy, do you stipulate that there's factual basis for count 2, the obstruction charge?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Craddock, do you wish to enter a guilty plea to count 2, the obstruction charge?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. I'm going to find that Mr. Craddock is knowingly and voluntarily and intelligently waiving his rights across both of his cases and entering these pleas. I've reviewed the recommendation and I will follow it across both cases. Mr. Malloy, the floor is yours if you wish to add anything.
Nothing, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Craddock, do you have any questions for me about anything, no matter how minor, before I pivot to sentencing?
No, sir.
Are you ready for me to sentence?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, Mr. Craddock, on 22 SR 2211, that's where we're going to start. That's the disorderly conduct charge. I'm going to find you guilty. It's 12 months of probation. $590 is your fine. Counts 2 and 3 are dismissed. You may work off your fine with community service work. You need to show your valid license to the sentence enforcement team. Fourth Amendment waiver, $50 per month supervision fee, $25 intake fee. This case is consecutive to any current sentence. $50 in restitution to Spalding County to offset the cost of your attorney. I'm going to put down here that your first report to sentence enforcement is going to be by phone this Friday, which would be June 21st, between 9 a.m. and noon. So you're going to call this Friday, and then they're going to give you instructions. And if you don't get somebody, make sure to leave a message. They'll call you back. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So when are you gonna call?
This Friday
Okay, between 9 a.m. and noon.
between 9 a.m. and noon.
All right, and the phone number for that is, you can go to spaldingcounty.com and they have a whole website. They have a whole page on that website that'll give you a ton of information about them.
Okay.
All right, you have access to the internet and all that?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. You need to complete 20 hours of community service work and have no violent contact with Joanna Tyus, Cameron Tyus, and Carl McKinney. That'll actually carry across both cases. All right, that concludes 22 SR 2211. All right, moving on to 22 SR 2116. Count 1, suspended license. I'm granting your NOLO. It's 12 months probation. $742.50 is your fine. Count 2, obstruction, guilty. 12 months. $590 is your fine. And count 3 is dismissed. Same license requirement, testing requirements, supervision fee, intake fee, public defender restitution. This case, which is 22 SR 2116, is consecutive to 22 SR 2211. This case may terminate the moment you've satisfied your obligations to the court. So I'm giving you 24 months of probation, but you can terminate it the moment you get to 12 if you've done everything you're supposed to do. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right, and I'm going to put here on both of these that you're virtual. You have 30 days from today if you wish to appeal this decision. You have 12 months from today if you wish to use your habeas rights. All right, do you have any questions for me about anything?
No, sir.
All right, then I'm going to say that you may remove yourself from the video conference system, but make certain you call, go onto spaldingcounty.com, look at the sentence enforcement page, call them Friday between 9 and noon. And of course, there's a wealth of information, which is why I'm sending you there, because I want you to look at them more fully, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, anything before we part ways?
No, sir.
All right, we started off bumpy, not you and I, but your technology started off bumpy, but you worked it out great. Thank you for keeping trying until you got that sorted out.
You're welcome, sir. Thank
All
you.
right, you may remove yourself from the system. Okay, is that your last plea?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Other person on the calendar, Mr.
Okay.
Peterson, it's supposed to be virtual. I don't think he ever logged in, Judge, so that's the big one.
All right, that's Michael Peterson.
Yes.
Cornell.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, that's Patterson. I'm so sorry. Yes, Cornell Peterson, I'm officially going to issue the warrant then, because he's not there. I'm looking at the virtual system right now. So, all right, so that warrant's issued. Okay, it's 11:55, community service work, folks. Y'all come on up, log out with the bailiffs. They got a few folks